Hi friends, my name is Johnny Farraj. This video is about the Iqaa and Muwashahat. It's part of an educational series of videos commissioned by the California State University in Fresno. And I'm recording these videos from my home in Astoria, Queens in New York City during a pandemic. Otherwise, I would be doing this in person with you, but hopefully I can convey as much information as I can from my office. Okay, so the Muwashah is a very large subject. It can be the subject of a video entirely, but because that's not the subject, let me just summarize it. I'm going to actually read a very concise summary of the Muwashah from my website Maqam World, which will be enough for this, for the purpose of this video. The Muwashah, plural Muwashahat, is a complex vocal form based on the classical Arabic poems from Andalusia. Hence, Muwashahat are sometimes qualified as Andalusian, even though their composed melodies are invariably from Syria through Egypt and only date back from the last century or two. Muwashahat often use odd and complex rhythmic cycles, starting from 5/4 to 7/4, 7/8, 10/8, 11/8, 13/8, 17/8, and so on. Muwashahat melodies are intricate, often syncopated, and leverage these Iqa'at. So as you can see from our presentation today, we're featuring 4 Iqa'at: Yuruk Samai in 6/8, Dawr Hindi in 7/8, Aqsaq in 9/8 or 9/4, and Samai Thaqil in 10/8 or 10/4. The traditional way to perform a muwashah is by a mutrib, which is the person who brings tarab, the principal vocalist, and an ensemble that includes backing vocalists. The mutrib can take a composed section and repeat it multiple times, each time with different improvisation or maqam modulation. This practice is called tafreed. These solo improvisations alternate back and forth, with the backing vocalist singing the composed melody and then the mutrib doing a melody or improvisation back and forth. So that's the traditional way to feature a muwashah. So today we're going to feature 3 muwashahat for every Iqaa, so 12 muwashahat, and we're going to learn these Iqa'at in detail. Iqaa will be defined shortly. And then we're going to learn the traditional way of learning a muwashah, which is saying the words, memorizing them by heart, and clapping the Iqaa while you memorize the words. So the words are not memorized in absolute, they're always memorized within the context of the Iqaa beats. And we're going to also play these Iqa'at on this instrument called the riq. This instrument is made of fish skin, and that's the instrument that I primarily play. So I'll be playing this instrument and singing the muwashahat, the first verse of every one of these muwashahat. And hopefully by the end of it, you would have taken on board this approach to learning a muwashah by heart with clapping and being constantly aware of the Iqaa while you're doing it. Let's talk now about the Iqaa. The Iqaa is a rhythmic cycle that repeats itself every measure. I'm going to put the presentation up so that we can memorize this summary, and we'll explain every point with a demonstration. So it's a rhythmic cycle with a repeating number of beats per cycle. Cycle means a measure. So the measure, let's say, has 4 beats. The timing signature would be 4/4, for example. That's a typical. The most typical Iqaa is called maqsoom. I'll demonstrate that. It's built on a skeleton of dum and tak sounds. So these are the vocabulary of the Iqaa. Dum is the bassy sound, tak is the sharp and dry sound. Dum is the sound that gives the rhythm its foundation, and tak is the accent. The Iqaa is notated as a single prototypal measure. If we scroll ahead a little bit, I'll show you this is a prototypal measure of Dawr Hindi. It's in 7/8. It goes dum, tak, tak, dum, s, tak, s. So the s's are the sounds between the dums and the taks, and sometimes they're kept quiet, but most of the time they are filled with other sounds. And that process of filling in the blanks is called tashkil in Arabic. So how do you go from prototype to the final outcome? The percussionist uses the tradition, and the tradition guides us as far as how to fill up and how to ornament and how to flesh out a iqaa. That ornamentation depends on the instrument, the arrangement, the genre, the time period, the phrase or the section of the piece, the audience, the mood of the singer. Depends on so many factors that are taken into account in a very quick mental calculation. I'm going to stop sharing for a second and then demonstrate these concepts on my riq. This instrument is called the riq, R-I-Q or R-I-Q-Q. This is a fish skin model. This came from a fish. It's actually beautifully preserved, and I also worked on restoring it. This is something I do on the side because I love these instruments. I bring them back to life. I change their skins. And I'll demonstrate the sounds on the riq. The dum sound is this one. The tak sound is this. So dum, tak. Now, the prototypal measure of Iqaa maqsoom, which is in 4/4, is so there's other dum sounds because the instrument is very rich, and other tak sounds. Here's the dum sound with an open hand, and tak can be here, can be here, can be here, and can be here. Also, whatever sound you can produce other than the dum can be used in the tak position. So the maqsoom using the open position like this sounds like the following. You can also play it on the cymbals. Now this prototypal measure is very boring, right? It's very bare bones. It's a skeleton. Let me play it one more time and count so that we know where we are in the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so it's in 4/4. Now, as the song requires or the piece requires and as the arrangement requires, this is going to be heavily ornamented and filled in. In general, we don't do anything to the dums. We keep them where they are. In some cases, we can add dums, but these are rare cases. In some cases, we can take out a dum or two, but these are rare cases. In general, the dum is what gives the orchestra and the singer the reference point for actually starting the measure or where they are in the measure. So we can ornament with the text and the S's, which are the silences or the rests in the notation, can be ornamented as much as you want, or as the style requires. So here's some ornamentations on maqsoom, and then we can move to the first iqaa that we're studying. All of these are ornamentations on Iqaa maqsoom. Our next Iqaa is Iqaa sama'i thaqil, and I'm going to share the notation of this Iqaa. It's in 10/8 if it's fast or 10/4 if it's slower. It comes definitely from the Turkish tradition, Ottoman tradition. It's not an Arabic Iqaa. From a Turkish rhythmic cycle called Aqsaq Sama'i. of the same exact signature. And this is the official Iqaa that accompanies the Sama'i instrumental form. And at the same time, it's extremely popular in Muwashahat. There are many Muwashahat in this Iqaa, and we're going to feature three of them. موشح ملل الكاسات in مقام رست by Muhammad Uthman. موشح إملالي الأقداح in مقام بياتي, traditional composer. And موشح يا غصينا البان in مقام حجاز by Sayyid Darwish. And I'm gonna speak this Iqaa signature, and I'm gonna clap it, and I'm gonna play it on the riq. To speak the Iqaa, it's dum, s, s, tak, s, dum, dum, tak, s, s, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't worry too much if it's 10 over 8 or 10 over 4. It's in 10. And we're gonna clap it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's try playing it on the riq. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's hear some examples of this muwashah from recordings, and then we can try to learn the those muwashahat by clapping them and singing them. Okay, so this example is Muhammad Khairi, who's one of my favorite singers from Aleppo. Unfortunately, he died young, singing Muwashah Malal Kasat. And this is probably from the 60s, because I can tell from the black and white quality. They're playing now is a dulab form, which means wheel or cycle, and as you can see, they keep repeating the same whole phrase. Now we know we're in Maqam Rast because of the dulab. This is the Iqaa. All right, a couple of things on the speed is and they're playing a bass line or a small riff that sounds like dum 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 dum. So they're playing only the dums and the taks with this riff. It sounds like this. Dum 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 dum. That's it for Muhammad Khairi. Our next example is Imlali al-Aqdah Sirfan. We're going to translate all of these lyrics shortly. This is by Shuyukh Salatin al-Tarab, which is a merger of two ensembles that were very competitive. They were competitors. Shuyukh al-Tarab and Salatin al-Tarab means the sheikhs of Tarab and the sultans of Tarab. Now they become Shuyukh Salatin al-Tarab. They're all from Aleppo, and they all know each other basically really well, and they played each other in different formations, but now they become merged in this single band. Okay, let's listen to Imlali al-Aqdah in Maqam Bayati. couple of things about this Iqaa obviously is played very, very slowly, so there's no way this is going to be notated as 10/8. It's definitely 10/4. So at this speed, I would notate it as 10/4. The other thing is the syncopation of the lyrics. There's this part that says wasqiniha. I learned it differently from a different teacher, and so I syncopate it slightly differently, and that's how I'm gonna teach it in the next section where I teach how to sing and clap in rhythm. And that's okay because Muwashahat, most people learn them orally, even though you can buy a book with all the notated Muwashahat, but what would you be getting is one version. There are always variations in the oral tradition, and things basically shift and mutate. And then you have slight variations in syncopation. It could be that one performer syncopated a little bit and everybody followed them because of their recording, if the recording was popular, or happens all the time. So it's very informal. It's not very important. The third example is by Safwan Al-Abid, who's a Syrian singer, and he's going to do Muwashah Ya Ghusayna Al-Ban by Sayyid Darwish, also in the same Iqaa Sama'i Thaqil, in Maqam Hijaz.
يا غصين البان حرت في أمري يا غصين البان حرت في أمري إنني والهان قاهي لو تدري إنني والهان آهي لو تدري
All right, we just heard one cycle of Ya Ghusayna Al-Ban. And next we're going to learn these Muwashahat. We're going to learn the first verse of every one of these Muwashahat. Let's study Muwashah Ya Ghusayna Al-Ban in Iqaa Sama'i Thaqil. It's composed by Sayyid Darwish and Maqam Hijaz. And let's work on the lyrics for a second. Ya Ghusayna Al-Ban Hirtu fi amri. Ya Ghusayna Al-Ban Hirtu fi amri. Innani walhan آهي لو تدري يا ليل إنني والهان آهي لو تدري أمان. Okay. Ya Ghusayna Al-Ban means someone with a very slender shape, like the shape of a branch on a tree that looks very elegant and slender. So the person with a very slender figure. حرت في أمري. I don't know what to do about myself anymore. I don't know what to do with myself. إنني والهان, I am deeply in love. لو تدري, if you only knew. يا ليل, just verbal filler, night. إنني والهان, I wish you only knew how much I was in love with you. Aman. So aman is another one of those words that are used to fill up Muwashahat verses. And it comes from Turkish. Aman means please have mercy on me, Aman, and which probably before Turkish, it probably came from Arabic as well. So it came from Arabic to Turkish back to Arabic as Aman. It probably was Aman, which means safety. It's a cry for mercy, but also, yes, a cry for mercy is the best way to translate it. This is my hypothesis that it came from Arabic, but it definitely sounds like it's Arabic that went to Turkey and came back. Anyway, a lot of these words, Turkish words, are used to fill up Muwashahat verses like Janim, Amrim, Aman, etc. And they give the Muwashahat a very nice quality of they take them out of Arabic, exoticize them a little bit, and kind of show that it was a melting pot where the context in which they were the lyrics were composed was basically influenced by multiple cultures, which is very nice. Okay, so let's sing it in the correct Iqaa, in the correct rhythm. So the starting of the Muwashah, it doesn't start on the first beat on 1. It starts like this: 1 2 3 4 يا غصين البان. So it starts on the fifth beat. 1 2 3 4 يا. So 1 2 3 4 يا غصين البان. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Again, revision of إيقاع سماعي ثقيل is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 6 7 8 9 10. 1 ترارارا يا غصين البان. 1 يا غصين البان. So the way to do it is you can count in your head, but because that's error prone and we're all human, and in the pressure of being on stage in a performance, you don't want to rely on this only. What makes it easier for the singers is to have a little melodic refrain or like short phrase before that fills up the first four beats. So it sounds something like this. Dum, 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 ya Hussein al-Ban. So the singer waits for that cue, which is the short phrase. Dum, 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 ya Hussein al-Ban. حيرت في أمري. And there's always those lawazim, those fillers, the phrases that fill, to help everybody stay in the right place and then count the rests with that phrase and then start at the right time, not before or after. Okay, so it's 1 2 3 4 يا غصين البان حيرت في أمري دايريريرم دايريريرم إنني والهان آهي لو تدري آمان آمان إنني والهان آهي لو تدري آمان 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 ترايرايرايرام يا غصين البان. As you can see, I interchanged Yalil with Aman, and you can say Ahi law tadri or Ahi law tadri. All of these variations are informal and accepted, and the important is to stay on the rhythm, keep the right maqam, and don't lose count and start in the wrong spot as far as the rhythm is concerned. Again, I said something in a previous Muwashahat about my voice. I'm not a singer, but so I'm trying to demonstrate singing. Hopefully my voice is good enough for that purpose. Let's try it with the riq. Dum, dum, dum. غصين البان حيرت في أمري. دم ريريرم إنني والهام آهي لو تدري يا ليل إنني والهام آهي لو تدري آمان 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 ريريرم تدري. Okay, so it's important to keep track of the little lawazim that will keep everybody on time, give them the correct timing. Let's talk a little bit about this maqam and the modulation that just happened. يا وصين البان. This point is the ghammaz, the end of the first jins. This is Hijaz. I believe I have it in D here. Okay, C sharp, that's okay. Let's assume it's D. Which would make this note G. Jins Nahawand. It could also be Jins Rast. يا ليل thrust on the fourth degree. يا غصين البان. This is my tonic. What happens when we did ahilo? Ahilo. Ah. So from the fourth degree, we went down by a whole step instead of a half step. Ah, instead of ah. What happened here is we're implying that we're going down from the fourth degree to the first degree on a different jins than jins hijaz. We're implying that it's jins bayati. Ah, fourth degree. So just by going 4-3 instead of 4-3 half step then we implied a different jins, and that's fine because jins hijaz modulates very often with jins bayati, given that they're both 4 notes long. Very common modulation. This was very nice because we just implied it. We started descending on bayati ... to the tonic. We didn't finish that jins, but we did ahi law tadri, and then we went back ya lil innani. So back to innani, we went back to hijaz. Innani walhan ahi. This is the third degree of jins hijaz. آهي لو تدري أمان أمان أمان. This is 1 7 6 7 8. All right, that's all for موشح يا غصين البان by Sayyid Darwish. Let's work on موشح إملالي الأقداح, or the full name is إملالي الأقداح صرفا. It's a maqam bayati, traditional composer, traditional lyricist or poet. So it's very, very well known, very, very well performed, and it's really beautiful. It's demanding to sing, so I might skip a few phrases because the range is actually very demanding. If I started on D, I have to touch the low G, which is the fifth below, or the low octave of the fifth of the maqam. Okay, so let's work on the lyrics. إملالي الأقداح صرفا واسقينها للصباح. And then there's the usual verbal fillers. Janim, Yalel, Yalalalli. Janim is a Turkish word, means my dear. Aman, Umrin, Yalalalli. Umrin is another Turkish word. I'm not sure of the meaning. It's probably a term of endearment, I think. Yalala, Yalalalli, Aman, wasqiniha lis-sabah. So, Imlali al-aqdah sirfan. Please fill up my wine glasses with pure wine, or the best quality wine, and wasqiniha lis-sabah, keep serving it for me until the morning, the hours of the morning. So aman aman yalalalli wasqiniha. So it's a song about being in the mood, drinking, enjoying a nice wine with a companion. So same common themes that come up in Muwashahat. You know, basically the poets who wrote these poems were, you know, enjoying life, and they were, you know, they were bon vivant in general. So some of that heritage, you know, came down in these Muwashahat, and they're very, very nice to sing and kind of relive from that period. Okay, so the Iqaa is a little bit, the Iqaa of the lyrics is a little bit tricky when it kind of falls on top of the Iqaa of Sama'i Thaqil, because not every syllable of the poem falls on a beat of the 10 beats of Sama'i Thaqil. So let's do Sama'i Thaqil one more time and get comfortable with the dums and the text, and then this is a very good example for learning a muwashah that's syncopated compared to the actual beats of the Iqaa. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 Okay, so these 10 beats, some of the syllables fall between beats. So we use the half beat to kind of give us a reference on where to sing that one syllable. And so we could say this syllable falls on five and a half, for example. Five and a half, where's five and a half? It's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So I'm gonna say here on 5.5. Here. It's easier to demonstrate when I'm actually singing the rhythm. Okay, so إملالي الأقداح صرفا تيريريرم تيريريرم تررم واسقي. So wasqi. So was is on 5.5. This is 6. Qi is 6.5. This is 7. If you remember, the two dums are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 6, 7. Was qi. So was dum qi dum. So 5.5, 6.5. So wasqiniha للصباح. This is the tricky, the syncopated part of the muwashahat. So let's try it again. إملالي الأقداح صرفا تيريريرم تيريريرم تررم واسقينها للصباح إملالي الأقداح صرفا تيريريرم تيريريرم تررم واسقينها للصباح جانم يلالي أمان عمري ميلالا لا لا لي جانم يلالي ترررم لا يلالي أمان واسقينها للصباح تيريريم etc. Let's try it with the rip. إملالي الأقداح صرفا تيريريرم تيريريرم تررم واسقينها للصباح جانم يلالي أمان عمري يلا لا لي جانم يلالي ترررم etc. Let's work on موشح ملا الكاسات وسآني. This is one of the examples of موشح having Fusha lyrics in classical Arabic, but in some cases, some words are pronounced the colloquial way, just to kind of make it closer to the listener. And this time it's in colloquial Egyptian. So the Muwashahat is composed by Muhammad Uthman, who's an Egyptian composer. The lyricist is unknown. And let's go over the lyrics. ملا الكاسات وسآني يا ليل نحيل الخصر والقد or والأدي, depends on how much colloquial the singer wants to introduce. أمان أمان يا للي يا ليل نحيل الخصر والأدي أمان أمان يا للي. So ملا الكاسات وسآني, he or she, we don't know, filled up the wine glasses and gave me to drink. يليل is يليل. نحيل الخصر والأدي. نحيل الخصر means someone who has a thin waist. والأدي. الأدي means the overall physique. So a thin waist and a thin physique. It seems that in that period that was the beauty standard. Aman, Aman, Yalla Lalli. And then they repeat that again. Yalla Lalli is la la la. Aman, Aman means wow, wow, or, mercy, mercy. Okay. Again, the themes are the same: love and drinking and beautiful people. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Maqam Rast. I'm taking it here on C. So Maqam Rast is probably the richest maqam and one of the most used in Arabic music, and it has so many possibilities for the second jins. The first jins is jins Rast, and it's made of 5 notes. Let's say if we started on C, the 5th note would be G. All right, 5th note G. What happens on G? There's different choices. There's bifurcations. There's a roundabout with 3 exits. This was upper rust, so we can have a upper rust starting on G. I just sang Nahawan now on the 5th note. Ya layli, ya layli. Hijaz. So these are already 3 choices on the 5th degree, which is the Ghammaz. Ghammaz is the pivotal point of the maqam scale where ajnas can go in different directions. And so because of that richness, any average song in maqam rast probably utilizes those 3 ajnas. Let's try to do the lyrics of the Muwashahat now in rhythm. Let's try to nail the timing of the first syllable, which is ma. So it could be sung in 2 different ways. It could be on 3. So dum malal kasat. So 1, 2 mala. So it could be on 3, or it could be syncopated on 3.5. 1, 2, 3 malal kasat. Let's try the syncopated version because it's actually, I think it's nicer. 1, 2, 3 malal kasat. Okay, so let's try to sing it and clap. Malal kasat wisani يا ليل ناحي نحيل الخاص روى الأدي آمان آمان يا للي آمان ناحي نحيل الخاص روى الأدي يا ليل Aman ya lalali. I'm sorry, I interchanged some amans with some yalels, but that's kind of informal. So let's try it with the malal kasat wisani ya lil nahi nahil والأدي آمان آمان يا للي يا ليل نحي نحيل خاص والأدي آمان آمان يا للي. Okay, this was Malal Kasat. مقام رست إيقاع سماعي الثقيل composed by Muhammad Uthman. Let's now work on إيقاع أقساق. أقساق comes from a Turkish word أقساق, which means limping. Probably the origin of this إيقاع is Turkish, very likely. 9, the time signature of 9 is very common in Turkish music. And so it's very popular in the Arab world, but almost exclusively used in the Muwashahat genre. The notation for Iqaa Aqsaq is as follows. If we're going to read the notation, we'll be reading it dum as stuck as dum as stuck as stuck dum as stuck as dum as stuck as stuck. So it's dum tak dum tak tak dum. The last tak is what makes it limping. If we're gonna play it on the riq, it'll sound like this. But a very common variation of this Iqaa is to have two dums in the middle. So beats number 5 and 6 are both dum. So instead of an S on beat number 6, it's a dum. So it'll be like dum S tak S dum dum tak S tak. Now, is this considered form 2 and the other one's form 1, or this is the two dums is form 1, the other one's form 2? It doesn't really matter. We're trying to analyze a practice, and both forms are very widespread in the practice, and even they're not associated to one musician or one muwashah. Depends sometimes on the speed, sometimes it depends on the style, sometimes it depends on the percussionist. The percussionists have a very wide range of freedom to ornament and to embellish and to interpret, and two dums sometimes is a valid way of interpreting aqsaq. So you can consider that two alternate forms. All right, we're going to feature 3 muwashahat examples: Mahtiyali in Maqam Hijaz, أيها الساقي in Maqam Huzam by Majdi al-Aqili from Syria, and Muwashahat Dhibuni in Maqam Hijaz Karkurt by Omar al-Batsh in Syria. And let me say one more thing about this Iqaa. So in a wasla, it's customary to, wasla is a suite of muwashahat. It's customary to start from the longest time signature with a slow tempo, and then make our way into a shorter time signature with a faster tempo. So the Iqa'at that are featured in this presentation, we're starting from small to big, but really basically, if this was a wasla, we'd have Sama'i Thaqil in 10, followed by Aqsaq in 9, followed by Dawr Hindi in 7, followed by Yuruk Sama'i in 6. That would be the order of doing them. Now, when you have such a suite of muwashahat in different Iqa'at, it's actually really nice not to stop between one muwashah and the next in order to start again with a different Iqaa. What would be nicer would be to just link them together, or just keep continuously playing one, ending one and playing the next one without stop. And so this Iqaa is very compatible with Sama'i Thaqil, because they almost have the same signature, and one is in 10, one is in 9. So it's very customary to have a piece in 10 followed immediately by a piece in 9. And the two measures that join together would be like this. So I just played one measure of Sama'i Thaqil, one measure of Aqsaq. If you're not really paying attention, you probably wouldn't notice that there was a transition there, because when you play the Aqsaq form with two dums, it sounds very compatible with the Sama'i Thaqil, which has two dums in the middle as well. So this was Iqaa Aqsaq. Let's now hear some examples. Let's listen to these muwashahat, starting with Ayyuha Saqi by Sabah Fakhri. This is a recording on Lebanese TV, Future TV. This is a dulab, a cyclical short instrumental composition. And this is al-Maqam Huzam. Not the only one in Maqam Huzam. There are many dawalib, plural of dulab in Maqam Huzam. The dulab broke out of its cycle, and this is the ending of the dulab, part 2. And here he's using the version of Aqsaq with 2 dums in the middle.
قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي
Alright, that's the first verse of Ayyuha Saqi. Next Aqsaq example is Muwashah Mahtiyali, which is an extremely popular Muwashah. It's going to be performed here by Sabri al-Mudallal. Sabri al-Mudallal is a very, very seasoned singer who died a while ago, but he was singing until his late 80s, I believe, and he was part of the old generation that studied with the old Muwashahat teachers in Aleppo. So he's very steeped, he was very steeped in the tradition. Also, we're going to hear the transition from Iqaa Sama'i Thaqil in 10 beats per measure into Iqaa Aqsaq, which is 9 beats per measure. So the previous Muwashah to Mahtiyali is Ya Ghusayn al-Ban, which is also featured in the Sama'i Thaqil part of this video presentation. We're going to hear the transition. It was very, very smooth. That was the first verse of Mahtiyali with Sabri al-Mudallal. Next Muwashah is عذبوني ما استطعتم, and it's performed by Muhammad Khairi. Muhammad Khairi is one of my favorite Aleppan Muwashahat singers. He does other than Muwashahat, he does also qasaid, improvised poems. Here he's featured in this picture with Sabah Fakhri. So they were two, let's say, competitors. They were both very, very big until Muhammad Khairi died prematurely. And then from that point on, Sabah Fakhri's career basically mushroomed, and he became the uncontested, bearer of the Muwashahat tradition. Sabah Fakhri is still alive today, but he's barely performing now because he's quite old. But for a while, they were basically both pillars of the Muwashahat market. Concerts, TV appearances, etc., recordings. But then after Muhammad Khairi died, Muhammad Khairi is on the right, Sabah Fakhri is on the left. Basically, Sabah Fakhri became the sole surviving megastar of Muwashahat. So we're going to listen again to the same transition from Iqaa Sama'i Thaqil in 10 beats per measure to Aqsaq in 9 beats per measure. And the previous Muwashah to Muwashah Adibuni is Ya Ghazal al-Ramli. So we're going to listen to the end of Ya Ghazal al-Ramli, transitioning very, very smoothly into Adibuni. Transition very smoothly into Adibuni. That was the end of our third example in Iqaa Aqsaq, Adibuni, performed by Muhammad Khairi. So let's learn the first verse of Muwashah Ayyuha Saqi. I'm going to read the lyrics out loud. Ayyuha Saqi, ilayka al-mushtaka. Repeated. Ayyuha Saqi, ilayka al-mushtaka. قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي. قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي. يا للا يا ليل يا للا يا للا. By now we're experts in what's ya lala and ya leel. Ya lala means la la la, ya lalali means la la la, and ya leel means I'm just want to fill up with some words. Okay, let's translate. So ayyuha saqi means, ayyuha means I'm addressing, I'm talking to, dear so and so. A saqi is the person who gives people something to drink. The drink server, bartender in modern days, but it's also a metaphor for someone who basically fulfills people's wishes. Let's assume it's in the literal sense of, drink purveyor. Ilayka al-mushtaka means to you we bring our complaints about, heartache, obviously. What else can it be? So to you we bring our complaints. We have called you or called upon you for help, and you haven't listened to us and you haven't heard us. قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي. So someone with a heartbreak, went to a winery and is talking to a wine server and saying, I have so many heartaches and heart troubles, and I'm trying to tell you about them, but you're not really listening to me. Ya la la, ya la la. So, أيها الساقي إليك المشتكى. I'm singing it without melody. ساقي إليك المشتكى قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي. يا لا يا ليل يا لا يا لي. Okay, so this is the rhythm. Let me find a good tonic to do مقام هزام. أيها الساقي Okay, مقام هزام, which is a branch of Sika. أيها الساقي إليك المشتكى أيها الساقي إليك المشتكى قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي يا للم يا ليل يا لا يا للم. I chose the two doom version of Aqsaq because it's a little bit easier to follow when my mind is busy doing another function, which is singing. The two dooms actually give me grounding, and they make the two halves of the measure distinct enough with the two dooms. So أيها الساقي إليك المشتكى أيها الساقي إليك المشتكى قد دعوناك وإن لم تسمعي يا لا يا ليل يا لا يا ليل تم 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 تم. That was أيها الساقي in مقام هزام by مجدي العقيلي. Next موشح for إيقاع أقساق is محتيالي, one of the most popular موشحات of all time in مقام حجاز. The lyrics: محتيالي يا رفاقي في غزال etc. علم الغصن التثني حين مال أمان أمان. محتيالي means what shall I do? What's my ruse is the literal translation, but what's to be done? Ya rifaqi, O comrades or friends of mine, what shall I do? Fi ghazalin. Ghazal is a deer or gazelle, same word, but it's a metaphor for a beautiful woman in the old days, in the old poetry days. So what should I do about this beautiful woman? Aman aman. علم الغصن التثني حين مال. So she swayed so elegantly that she actually taught the branch how to sway instead of the other way around. So she swayed so elegantly that she taught the branch how to sway when she walked and swayed while she was walking. Aman aman, aman, again, Turkish word, verbal filler. Okay, so let's do it on the Iqaa. It's so ma, the first syllable of Mahtiyali doesn't fall on one of the beat, it falls on number 3, on beat number 3. Very common with Muwashahat, not everything falls on one. And people either listen to the melody and count, or sometimes there are phrases called lawazim that gives them a clue. And sometimes they can count. So if you want to count, it's dum es mahtiyali. So the iqa being dum es tak es dum dum tak es tak dum es mahtiyali. Aman ya rifaqi dum es mahtiyali. Aman ya rifaqi dum es tam fi ghazal. Aman fi ghazal. Aman علم الغصن التثني يا عيني حينما الأمان علم الغصن التثني يا عيني حينما الأمان. Okay, Let's try it with the riq. So it's dum es mahtiyali. Mahtiyali aman ya rifaqi. Mahtiyali aman ya rifaqi. Fi ghazal aman, fi ghazal aman. علم الغصن تثني يا عيني حينما أمان علم الغصن تثني يا عيني حينما الأمان. The last موشح in إيقاع أقساق example is عذبوني. Let's say the lyrics. عذبوني ما استطعتم، عذبوا يا ليل فعذابي في هواكم يعذب. Alright, عذبوني means make me suffer, torture me, but really make me suffer emotionally. ما استطعتم, as much as you can. عذبوا يا ليل, make me suffer, يا ليل, filling up. فعذابي, as my suffering in your love is actually sweet. فعذابي في هواكم يعذب, becomes sweeter and sweeter. So there's also like a pun here, because عذابي is my suffering, and يعذب, which comes from the same root, but يعذب means it's sweet to the taste. Not sure why, but anyway, so the poet definitely made use of that pun. عذبوني ما استطعتم، عذبوا يا ليل فعذابي في هواكم يعذب. And so the first syllable to sing as a from عذبوني is on beat number 4. So what do? We have to fill the first 3 beats. Dum es tak عذبوني tam tam tam, like this. Dum es tak عذبوني tararam ما استطعتم tararam عذبوا يا ليل فعذابي في هواكم يعذب ترارارا فعذابي في هواكم يعذب تم تم تم. Let's try it with the riq. عذبوني ما استطعتم، عذبوا يا ليل فعذابي في هواكم يعذب فعذابي في هواكم يعذب. That was عذبوني by عمر البطش in مقام حجاز كركون. Let's explore now إيقاع دور هندي. I'm gonna put the notation for this إيقاع on the screen. And again, you know by now how this works. This is the dum, this is the tak, and this is read or communicated orally as dum tak tak dum tak, dum tak tak dum tak, or dum tak tak dum es tak es dum tak tak dum es tak. I'm going to demonstrate it in a second. And our sample Muwashahat are صحت وجدا in مقام رست by Sayyid Darwish. موشح جادك الغيث المقام هزام by مجدي العقيلي. الموشح جل من قد صورك المقام بياتي. And let's demonstrate إيقاع دور هندي, which is a very common إيقاع in موشحات repertoire. Our first موشح, صحت وجدا by Sayyid Darwish, is performed here by Ghada Shbeir, Lebanese singer, and one of my favorite percussionists, Nadir Murqos, on a tunable riq made by Nakhli, a Lebanese maker. Let's work on موشح صحت وجدا يا ندامة. But before that, I just want to say one thing about singing, or particular about me singing. I'm not a singer, I'm not a mutrib, but as a musician, even as a rock player, at some point I'm gonna practicing the oud. I'll be an oud player in the future. It's very important, whether you're playing a melodic or a percussion instrument, to know how to sing at a basic level. It's very important reasons why. One reason is the intonation becomes in your mind, in your head, and then you embody the intonation, and that will help you a lot with memorizing or learning the right intonation, being able to teach the right intonation. Also, I often sing in the backing vocal section, or I do backing vocals as I play the riq. So I play two roles in the ensemble, and so it's very important to, as a musician, to be able to basically repeat a few phrases in a performance and be able to help the singer. So backing vocals, learning the correct intonation, and the more you sing, the more your ear will be refined and attuned and sharper, and it's all ear training. So the more you'll be able to sing in tune. Hopefully my voice wasn't too bad, and it'll be acceptable just for this teaching video. Okay, so let's do صحت وجدا. صحت وجدا is المقام رست. So يا ليل يا ليل يا fifth. I memorized lots of melodies مقام رست. If I need to pull rust out of thin air, I sing يا عذيب. Another موشح by Sayyid Darwish as well, يا عذيب المرشف. Also can sing يا شادي الألحان. يا شادي الألحان أسمعنا رنة العيدان يا لالي يا لالا يا لالي رنة العيدان أسمعنا يا لالي يا لا 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 لم يا لالي. All right, back to صحت وجدا. صحت وجدا يا ندامة واصلوني وارحموني Layl ya layl ya layl. So layl ya layl is just layl means night, ya layl or night. They are very important words used to sing a layali genre, which means it's a vocal improvisation with no words really, but you, instead of saying ah la 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 la, you say layl ya layl, and it sounds more articulate, more pleasant to the ear, and less boring than saying ah for 5 minutes. You can say ya layl layl ya layl 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 for 5 minutes, and that's totally acceptable. It's a genre called layali. Layali usually are like they don't come on their own. Usually they are a prelude, a vocal warm up for the singer before they start a qasida or a mawal or something, and then after that they sing the real song, the real piece that's coming. But it's a warm up. Okay, so صحت وجدا. صحت I screamed وجدا from my love. Ah يا ندامة. Oh, drinking companions. Ya nadama are the friends, the close friends, but also people who spend the evenings enjoying life with someone. Wasiluni warhamuni means please love me and have mercy on me, have pity on me. Uh, this person is probably in love and suffering right now, and he's around a company of someone he loves, and maybe his love is not being reciprocated, and he's saying, please, just give me a little bit and have mercy on me. Again, a love song, as you might have guessed. Ya layl, ya layl, ya layl. All right, let's try it in. Let's just say the words one more time, and then we'll try it in rhythm. صحت وجدا يا ندامة واصلوني وارحموني ليل يا ليل يا ليل واصلوني وارحموني. Okay, what was my tonic? صحت وجدا يا ندامة صحت وجدا يا ندامة واصلوني وارحموني يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل واصلوني وارحموني. صحت وجدا يا ندامة صحت وجدا يا ندامة واصلوني وارحموني يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل واصلوني وارحموني. All right, that was صحت وجدا in مقام راست by Sayyid Darwish. And our third موشح for Iqaa Dawar Hindi is جادك الغيث, composed by Majdi al-Aqili, I think, who's a Syrian composer who did a lot of موشحات. It's in مقام هزام. It starts on a half flat or a approximate half flat. Second gen starts here. Hijaz. And the first jins is jins Sika. So Huzam is in the Sika family. Okay, now I'm in tune with the maqam, with my modest singing abilities, but it's good enough for a musician trying to learn a song or teach a song. Okay, so the lyrics are جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما يا زمان الوصل بالأندلس يا لا 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 يا لا 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 ليل يا ليلي. يا لا 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 is what you imagine. La 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 la. ليل يا ليل we talked about. So al-ghaythu is the rain, as the downpour of rain. It's considered a very, very important blessing in the context where these poems were written, because they came from Arabs who lived in the desert. So ghayth is the same word for rescue. It's a synonym for rescue, and it's rain. So it's a very important blessing. So جادك الغيث means may rain fall on you. إذا الغيث هما, as it downpours generously. يا زمان, but it could also be a metaphor. الغيث could be a metaphor for anything. يا زمان الوصل بالأندلسي. Oh, the days of love in Andalusia. So it's nostalgic about Andalusia. Andalusia has this emotional connection and also historic connection, but sometimes it's not really historic. If there's poetry that was not written in Andalusia, it was written in the Arab world in the 19th or 20th century. But there's always this connection with the Muwashahat genre, to the point where sometimes they're called the Andalusian Muwashahat, even though their composer could be in Aleppo and their lyricist or their poet is also in the Arab world. But there's this very strong emotional, ideological connection between Muwashahat, let's say, in Andalusia. Okay, so this is a nostalgic poem about the days of love, and may they come again. Who knows what the metaphor meant? It could be open to interpretation. Okay, so جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما يا زمان الوصل بالأندلسي يا لا لا يا لا 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 ليلي يا ليلي. Let's try it in tune. جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما يا زمان الوصل بالأندلسي ليل يا لا يا لا 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 يا لا لا يا لا 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 يا لا لا يا لا 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 يا لا لا يا لا 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 ليل يا ليلي. Sorry about I mixed يا لا 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 with ليل يا ليلي, but I mean they are interchangeable. جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما جادك الغيث إذا الغيث هما يا زمان الوصل بالأندلسي يا لا لا 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 ليل يا ليلي. Alright, جادك الغيث المقام هزام by مجدي العقيلي. Our third موشح is جل من قد صورك المقام نهوند المقام بياتي, and it's performed here by a Palestinian orchestra conducted by Ramzi Abu Radwan, who's the founder of Al-Kamanjati Center. Long introduction. Let's work on Muwashah Jalla Man Qad Sawarak. Let's study the lyrics of the first dawr, which is the verse, and then work on the singing of Maqam Bayati in tune, getting into the right intonation of Maqam Bayati, and then playing the Muwashah with clapping and with the riq. Okay, so first the lyrics. جل من قد صورك بدري من ماء وطين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين. So جل من قد صورك means holy or blessed is the one who painted you in this image. بدري من ماء وطين. Badr is the full moon, but it's a metaphor for a very beautiful face. So basically, you're a beautiful full moon made of flesh and blood. وجعل من منظرك means made, and the one who made your sight, your appearance. بهجة للناظرين, a joy for the onlookers. So it's a love poem about someone who's beautiful. Okay, so let's say it one more time. جل من قد صورك بدري من ماء وطين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين. And let's sing it. Let's read it in rhythm, but without singing it. Kind of like the first step. It's a technique used by people who sight read. The first step in deciphering is deciphering the rhythm and then deciphering the tuning, the intonation. جل من قد صورك بدري من ماء وطين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين. And repeat. وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين. So if you notice, I'm skipping a tak. So officially the Iqaa is dum tak tak dum tak, but I can skip the first tak and make it a rest. So it will be like dum tak dum tak dum tak dum tak. Why? Because at this speed, it's a little bit too crowded, and also I'm trying to sing and clap at the same time. If I was doing it very slowly, dum tak tak dum tak dum taka taka dum tak, then I would do all the text and more text. I would add more text. But as it gets faster, I'm trying to sing at the same time. I'm gonna do dum es tak and dum es tak tum ta tum tum tam tararam tam tam. جل من قد صورك تررم بدري من ماء وطين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين. I think I took it on a tonic that's too low. Oh no, that's the right tonic. I'm singing Bayati on B. So how do you get into the right tuning of a maqam? You can just pull it out of your memory, but sometimes as a learning aid, when I was starting to learn the maqamat, I used to sing a familiar song that I know really, really well in my memory in that maqam. Like for example, Kulthum's Il Qalbi Yasha Kulli Jamil. The opening is just a couple of notes in the first jins of Maqam Bayati. القلب يعشق ترم كل جميل تررم ترم تيراري رارارم تررم. So let's try it with the let's take it slow. جل من قد صورك تررم بدري من ماء وطين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين وجعل من منظرك بهجة للناظرين. All right, and then as a revision for the Iqaa. Let's talk about Iqaa Yuruk Samai, which, as you guessed, is a Turkish name. Very, very, very popular in the Arab world. Here's the notation for Yuruk Samai. It's in 6/8. It's light and fast and happy and dynamic. It's usually used at the end of a Muwashahat suite because they start with the slow and very long time signatures and then make their way all the way to the end. This is, can be thought of as a 3/4 rhythm, but it's a 6/8. 6/8 is a better representation of it, but it can morph into a 3/4 Samai Darij if it gets a little bit faster. The spoken form of the Iqaa prototype is dum tak tak dum tak s dum tak tak dum tak s, and then we can insert ornaments between the first two taks and can sound like dum tak dum tak dum tak dum tak. I'll demonstrate it on the rip. It can also morph into a 3/4 Samai Darij or Darij. Other names for Yuruk Samai are Yugrug or Ugrug, also used between percussionists in the Arab world. This is the Maqam World page for Yuruk Samai with all the examples. And we're going to listen to some of these examples found on YouTube. The first Muwashah example in Yuruk Samai is Muwashah An Il Malih, no known composer, so it's a traditional melody. It's performed by Sabri al-Mudalla from Aleppo, and it's in Maqam Hijaz. There's a few things I need to say about this muwashah and this maqam. So, as you heard in the beginning, there was this melodic riff, or it's a way of representing an iqaa with melody. It goes tam tararam tam 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 tararam tam tararam tararam tam tam, and it goes very well with the tam tararam tam 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 tararam tam 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 tararam tam tam. It's kind of like a bass line equivalent in Arabic music. And it's a very beautiful way of accenting the dums and the taks of the iqaa with the melody. So these are done before the melody comes in. So kind of like as an introduction or a separation between two verses, etc. It can also be done as a grounding for someone who's doing an improvisation on top. The other thing I wanted to mention is Maqam Hijaz. Very interesting what they did here. It's part of the sayr of the melodic course of Maqam Hijaz traditionally. The Maqam Hijaz starts with Jins Hijaz on the tonic. This is Jins Hijaz. The fourth degree is the Ghammaz. It's the point where you can split and go in different directions. Jins Rast on top of Hijaz, or it can go also Jins Nahawand. So the melody here goes back and forth between Jins Rast and Jins Hijaz on the Ghammaz, on the fourth degree of the Maqam scale. So far Rast. And then they switch to Nahawand. So the difference is like the third degree between Jins Rast and Jins Nahawand. All of a sudden it becomes like a familiar minor scale, and then continues back to below to the Jins Hijaz and back to the tonic. So that's a very, very common variation which is part of the sayr, part and parcel of performing maqam Hijaz. You probably cross those two ajnas on the fourth degree. Okay, the next example is Muwashah billadhi askara, and it's going to be performed here by Sabah Fakhri. One thing about Sabah Fakhri, if you want to find decent recordings on YouTube, actual recordings, not just sound with a still picture, chances are you're going to find one by Sabah Fakhri and probably no one else for the rarer Muwashahat. So there's no escape of having to, you know, play videos by Sabah Fakhri over and over again. I mean, he did basically do us all a huge favor by recording so many of these Muwashahat. So I don't have a problem featuring him multiple times on, you know, in this video. Right, we're gonna practice this muwashah and learn that it doesn't start on the first beat of the Iqaa, and that's fine. This is the case of many muwashahat, so it's gonna be a matter of counting before we know when to start the vocal line. Here's another muwashah in Yuruk Samai called Qum Ya Nadim. It's composed by Omar al-Batsh, my favorite muwashahat composer from Aleppo. It's in Maqam Nahawand. And let's hear, it's again by Sabah Fakhri, surprise, surprise. I can tell from the background that this is in the Beit ad-Din castle in Lebanon. So Sabah Fakhri often came to Lebanon to do concerts in the summer, and then they were often hosted in Beit ad-Din. Beit ad-Din has a festival every summer with many, many performers. Okay, something about the maqam here. It can be classified as maqam nahawand, but also can be classified as nawa athar. You can think of it as nawa athar, or you can think of it as nahawand modulating to nawa athar. Either way, it's the same, really. We're debating something, a theoretical point, which has no bearing on the actual composition, how it's performed. But let's discuss why nawa athar. Because he went دور أقداحينا نرم تيراريراريرا. So مقام نوى أثر starts with the jins necrease on the bottom. تيراراريرا. It has a raised fourth compared to jins nahwan. Tiyarararararararam. And then from the fifth degree, it goes Hijaz. And then they switch back to Nahwan. They go Aman Aman Dawir Aqdahi. So they go back and forth between Nawa Athar and Nahawand. Some books classify it as Nawa Athar. It doesn't matter. It's actually a beautiful modulation. Part and parcel of working with Nahawand is you might want to modulate to Nawa Athar back and forth. You can also, there's many modulations. This is one of them. All right, that was all for Qum Ya Nadim by Omar al-Batsh, Maqam Nahawand. And next we're going to learn how to actually sing those muwashahat. Let's work on muwashah al-Malih al-Ghali. A couple of things about this muwashah. It's a Maqam Hijaz. And so the first jins is Hijaz, second jins is alternates between Jins Nahawand and Jins Ras, which are 5 notes. Hijaz is 4 notes. Altogether, the scale meets at the octave. It has octave equivalents. It's very common to use both choices for the upper Jins, both Nahawand and the Rast. I don't think about the lyrics. They're in supposedly they're in classical Arabic, or most Muwashahat have their lyrics in classical Arabic. But because of artistic license, some singers, traditionally, everybody does that. They sing one muwashah in colloquial. In this case, this one is in colloquial Aleppo dialect. So it's instead of عنق المليح الغالي, it's عنق المليح الغالي. No reason then other than tradition. So the lyrics are عنق المليح الغالي ليلي يا ليل فداه مالي. عنق المليح, the neck of the beautiful, of the beloved. Al-Ghali, the precious, dear beloved. So the dear beloved's neck. Layli ya layli fadahu mali means I'd sacrifice my money for that neck. بالروح ما أنا سالي ليلي يا ليل لو طال مطالي. بالروح means I swear by my soul I will not forget and move on no matter how long my quest takes me to be with that beloved. So again, love poem. Okay, so we're gonna sing this. I'm doing Hijaz on A. That's Ghamaz. So if the Iqaa is dum tak tak dum tak, we need to count dum and then ah. So it's on the second beat. دم عين المليح الغالي ليلي يا ليل فداه مالي بالروح ما أنا سالي ليلي يا ليل لو طال ما طالي. So it's dum. That's how, if we were in an ensemble and we were learning this muwashah, we would have to think dum. Dum عين المليح الغالي ليلي يا ليل فداه مالي بالروح ما أنا سالي ليلي يا ليل لو طال ما طالي etc. That was عن المليح الغالي. Our second موشح is بالذي أسكر, extremely popular موشح. It's in مقام بياتي. And the lyrics in this case are attributed to a poet that we know. They're not just carried over from an unknown poet. And in this case, it's the Andalusian poet Lisanuddin ibn al-Khatib. So we know the author of the words of the lyrics. And the lyrics are بالذي أسكر من عذب اللمى كل كأس تحتسيه وحبب والذي كحل جفنيك بما سجد السحر لديه فاقترب. So line by line, again, it's a love poem about someone beautiful. You guessed it. The one who is intoxicated by the sweetness of the dark lips. Sorry, the one who intoxicates by the sweetness of or her dark lips. So basically, the poet is intoxicated. Every كل كأس تحتسيه, every cup of supposedly liquor she drinks, she shows her beautiful pearly teeth. And the one who darkened her eyelids with kuhul, so it's mascara, the one who put mascara on her eyes, magic came and surrendered to her and came close to her to check her out because she even impressed magic. Anyway, all of these are metaphors for a beautiful woman and very beautiful love poem. All right, so let's try Bayati. I'm gonna take it on B, comfortable for me. بالذي أسكر من عذب لما تررم كل كأس تحتسيه وحبب تررم والذي okay so بالذي doesn't fall on the one of the beat again, you guessed it. So if the iqa is dum tum 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 dum tum, so it falls on the third beat. So it's dum es or dum tak billadhi dum tararatata dum es billadhi. So we're gonna count either dum es or 1 2 or dum tak and then start singing. Or dum silent. Okay, dum billadhi askara min عذب اللما كل كأس تحتسيه وحبب تررم. At this speed, I'm not gonna do dum tak tak dum tak. I'm just gonna do dum tak dum tak dum tak dum tak. It's much easier for me. On a slower speed, I'll do dum taka tak dum tak. I'll add more taks. But on a slow speed, on a fast speed, I'll omit some taks. So on the riff, this would sound like بالذي أسكر من عذب اللمى كل كأس تحتسيه وحبب تررم والذي كحل جفنيك بما تررم سجد السحر لديه فاقترب ترررررر etc. Continue. So it's easier for me because I'm used to playing the riq. It's easier for me to actually play the riq and sing than to clap and sing at this speed because there's too much to do. But you know, if I prepared this a few times, I'll be able to do it. But for the sake of the demo, I played riq with it. So this was بالذي أسكر by لسان الدين ibn al-Khatib in مقام بياتي. The third موشح for إيقاع يورك سماعي is قم يا نديم by Omar al-Batsh from Aleppo. And the lyrics are قم يا نديم or يا نديمي, to just continue the rhythm correctly. We fill up that with a vowel. قم يا نديمي املا وهيم دور أقداحي ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل أمان أمان دور أقداحي. So the lyrics are very short, and then we do lots of fillers with ليل يا ليل أمان أمان, discussed earlier. قم يا نديم, get up my drinking companion. Imla wahim, imla, fill up the cups with wine and fall in love. Dawir aqdahi means keep my wine cups coming. So let's keep both drinking and fall in love, basically. No new topics here. The same old topic. You know, these songs are all about the same thing. And let's try singing it and clapping it. So qum, it's the second beat of the measure. So it's dum qum ya nadim imla wahim قم يا نديم املا وهيم تررم دور أقداحي ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل أمان أمان دور أقداحي ترررررم. So it's dum, it's on the second beat. قم يا نديم املا وهيم قم يا نديم املا وهيم دور أقداحي ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل يا ليل أمان أمان دور أقداحي تررررررم. All right, that was قم يا نديم إيقاع يورك سماعي مقام نهوان / نوأثر. I wanted to conclude this video with a recap on what we covered. So we covered the genre of Muwashahat. We covered lots and lots of poetry and found out that it's mostly all about the same topics. We covered Iqa'at, the concept of Iqaa. We covered how to sing and make the words, the lyrics fall on the Iqaa correctly. We covered the instrument called the riq. which is my instrument. And we covered lots of maqamat and topics like modulation, ajnas, intonation, and putting it all together, you get the result, which is the muwashah. And that tradition, like all the other traditions, leads to tarab, which is the purpose of it all. Thank you so much for attending this presentation. I was hoping to make it under an hour, but once you start talking about these beautiful pieces of music and demonstrating them, it's very hard to keep it short, and one thing leads to another. So it ended up being a little bit longer, but I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. Once again, my name is Johnny Farraj. I'm recording this from my home in Astoria, Queens, in New York City, in the pandemic, and I hope to one day meet you in person, because I promise you the interaction will be much more motivating and enjoyable for both sides.